Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Let's decode it. Today I'm going to discuss some basic functions of Excel. So let's just start. Here are some students to whom I have to assign marks. So what will I do? One way is to to assign numbers manually like this. Uh, okay, so I'm just randomly assigning numbers. It is quite difficult when you have thousands of students. So it will be very difficult for me to to give marks to these students and manually. So what will I do? Let me just delete this. I'll show you one inbuilt function in Excel where you can randomly assign numbers. I'm just showcasing over here to just show you that how we can randomly assign values if somewhere we want to begin with formula. What we have to write first, equal sign. This is very important. If you'll not write equal and you'll just start with the formula, it will not take it as a formula, okay, and it will not work. So equal random between, RAND between, okay. So I'm writing here, and now it is asking me for two values. One is bottom and top. Bottom is the lowest marks or the lowest value, and top is the highest and the highest value. Like if I want to give marks to these students between 50 to 100, so 50 is the lowest, and by separating it with the comma I will write 100, that is the highest value, and closing the bracket, it will randomly assign marks to Anu. Okay, so now I want this for all the students. So here you can see a small green box. By clicking on that, if you will drag it down, it will randomly assign marks to all the students. Now there is one small problem with this. That is, if I'll assign again, it will change the values. See, if I'll drag it down again, it will change the values. Now it's very difficult for me, to track it down, like who scored how much marks. So to overcome with this problem, what we'll do, we'll just select it and copy it with the help of Control plus C, and we'll go to paste and we'll click on paste special. Here I'm turning it to values and click OK. Now it will freeze the values. Okay, it will freeze values for me. Now if you will do it again, it will not change. Let me show you. If you drag it like this, it will paste the same number again over here, but it will not, it will randomly, it will not change. So let me just correct it again. Just write it over here, 56. And the other function, there was one more function, RAND, random, only random. So what it will give you, it will give you numbers between 0 to 1 if you want to assign values between 0 to 1. So what will you do? It is very difficult for you to write like 0 0.09, 0 0.06, something like that. So to you know uh, to save our time, what we'll do, we'll use RAND, okay, and we'll close the bracket, and it will automatically give me the values. So for all the students I will drag it down again and it will give me the values. And it will also it will also face the same problem. There is the same problem with random as well. If I will drag it again, it will change the values. So to overcome that, I have earlier told you what we have to do. We have to copy it, then paste special and values, and press OK. So it will freeze the values for me. So now we'll do some calculations. Like I want total marks of all the students. So what will I do? I'll use sum function. So for that I have to write equals to sum, and it is asking me for the value. So what will I do? I will just click on the cell, select the cell, and now I want the last cell. So one way is to just left click on your mouse and drag it down, okay, and the other way is just select this, hold the shift key and jump to the last cell, okay, and we'll close the bracket, and it will give me the total marks of the students. There is one long method as well. Will equal sign sum again. The other way is like selecting one by one each cell, okay, and separating it with the help of comma. So here I'm doing, and again it is very difficult if you have thousands of students. Your whole day, it will take your whole day, to calculate these numbers, total marks of the students. So the best way, it will give us the same result, but the best way is to use this formula, right? It will take the cell between B2 to B10, all these, and it will give you the total marks. So now we will see average. Okay, average. To calculate average, what we will do, we'll use this. Okay, before that, there is one more thing. Like some of us have heard about sum f function. Okay, so just don't get confused with that. I'll tell you what is sum f. Sum f is basically like if you want to define some criteria, then we use sum if function. If we simply wants to get the total marks, we are using sum function. Okay, so criteria in the sense like equal sign, sum, and it will show you over here sum if function. Will select this. Now I have to define a range. Okay, whose total I want. So what will I do? I'll select this and will drag it down, and I'll separate it with the help of comma. I'll put double quotes. What I have to define now? I have to define criteria. Now I want to calculate marks of those students who have scored less than 60. Okay, so to do so, what will I do? Less than 60 and double quotes closed, and now bracket closed, and I'll enter. It will give me the total marks of those students who have scored less than 60. So here we can see Anu Bharti have scored less than 60. So what's the total? 113. Like this we can calculate all the marks. Okay, if we want to calculate by defining a criteria, if we have some conditions, so it will fulfill your conditions if we'll use sum if function. Okay, so now coming back again to the average, equal sign. Average is basically what? Mean, or we can call it arithmetic mean. So I'll select uh, the range of cells and we'll close the bracket and we'll press enter. It will give us the average. Now there is one more function in average, average A. So just don't get confused. What is average A? Let's see. Okay, so here I'm just giving some numbers, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I'll keep one cell blank, and in the other I will write true, and in the next I'll write false. Now I want to get the total average of these numbers. So in case of average, it only takes numeric values. It will ignore the empty cell as well as it will ignore the text cells in which text is written. It will ignore those cells as well. So it will give us only simple average. So let's see if I write over here average, what it will give, asking me for the range. So I'm just giving and closing the bracket, and it's giving me the result 4.5. It what it basically did, let's just see what it did. Like, what is the formula of average? Sum of observations divided by total number of observations. And what is the formula for sum? Let's just combine these formulas and calculate average in the other way. Okay, so here sum I'm writing. Okay, and for sum what we have to do, as I shared with you earlier, like just select this and select the range of cells, close the bracket. Now what I have to do, this is the sum of observations. Okay, so now I have to divide it by the number of observations. So divide, then for counting the number of observations we use count function in Excel. So count, okay, count, and I'll again give the values and close. It will give us the same result, 4.5. Okay, now here it ignored empty cells and the text cells. But in case of average A, okay, you can learn it easily, like average A in the end it is using a alphabet, so we can easily identify. So here in average A, true considered as 1 and false is considered as 0. It will take true as 1 and false as 0. So let's see here average A. Now I'm going to and close the bracket. What it will give me? It will give me 3.166. Okay, that's the difference between average A and average. These both will not consider the empty cells, but average A will consider true as 1 and false as 0. Now there is one more doubt, what if I just write T? I'm just writing alphabets instead of T. What if I write, let's see, what if I write A? Okay, This is the route. So, and here I'm writing F. So what will it do? It will simply not consider these cells. How? It will take, it will consider these two cells, but not in the way that it will assign a the value 1 and F 0. No, it's not doing that. It's just considering it while counting the number of observations. Okay, so here the result is 3. So just don't get confused in that. And for the simplest, I'll just share with you the count function as well again. So here I want to see how many students are there in my class. So what will I do? I'll just select this, drag it down and close it down. 9 students. Now the last two things which I will cover in this video: minimum and to calculate the maximum. It's very easy for me to identify out of these which is the minimum, which one is the minimum, and which is the maximum. But sometimes it's very difficult when you have huge number, okay, huge number of students, or you have huge record. So in for that case we use minimum function equals to min, and what will give it cells between B2 to B10, close the bracket and enter. 56. You can say it lowest marks, or you can say it minimum. 56. Okay, now to count maximum or the highest marks. So for that, what we'll do, we'll use max and B2 to again B10 and close the bracket. Now 98 highest marks and 56 lowest minimum marks. Okay, so that's all for today, and we'll see you in the next one.